Deaf culture has 5 key components. The first one is eye contact. We use our eyes to communicate with one another, and the eye contact helps us to focus well. When you don't maintain eye contact, then you miss on whatever the deaf person is speaking or relaying to you. If you want the deaf people to be able to understand whatever it is that you're saying, then you have to at all times maintain eye contact, because our eyes are our priority, and we receive the information through the eyes and we convey the same to the brain for interpretation. The second one is touching. When you want to seek the attention of a deaf person and you want them to look at you when you are communicating, then touching is very important. If you don't touch them, then they are likely to miss on the information that you are saying. So if you want someone to look at you and to buy their attention, you can do so by touching them, and then you can continue with your conversation. The third component is people most of the time tend to flicker their lights, or they wave their piece of cloth or a piece of paper, or sometimes they can use a gong or something that is making loud noise, and that way the deaf people are able to see or hear that their attention is being sought. Or sometimes they can even use something that is producing very high vibrations, and that way they'll be able to know that their attention is being sought, and they'll be able to focus to that person. The other one is facial expression. When you're happy, you're sad, or maybe you're angry, let's say maybe you're crying, we relay that using our facial expressions. Facial expressions help us to understand the mood of the person. Are you laughing, or what is your mood? Are you in love? Are you joyous? Through the facial expressions, you are able to understand and to communicate your emotions, and they help people to understand and to focus well on what you're saying. The other one is leave taking. Let's say you're in a meeting and it's time for you to recess. Maybe you're saying the final goodbyes so that you can recess or leave for the meeting. Let's say maybe you're in church and you want to go home. Deaf people tend to communicate for a very long time, and then they can take their leave. And then they usually tend to go accompanying one another, communicating, and then as they are on their way home. They can even stand at a particular point and communicate for a bit of time, or in small communities or in small congregation, and then they go home. Because they know after they leave that particular congregation or they leave that person, they are not likely to meet them for a very long time. So that's why when a deaf person meets a fellow deaf person, they are very delighted, and they communicate for a very long time, and they hold a brief with them for a very long time, because they know that it's going to be a very long time before they are able to interact again. And that helps the deaf people to connect with one another and to feel comfortable. And so those are the 5 main values or components in the deaf culture.